it going? Oh boy, what do we have here? This is a 1941 Allis Chalmers B. Previously on the channel, I had acquired a 1943 Allis Chalmers C, and there are two ideas floating through my head right now as to what I want to do with this machine. Obviously, this thing is kind of rough. I didn't really look it over all that much before I bought it, to be honest with you. I have been doing that a lot, and I have been pretty successful at it sometimes. Other times there have been times that I have thought, okay, maybe I should have looked this over before I handed them the cash and took it. Although usually it makes it more fun, in my complete honest opinion, it makes it more fun when you don't know what you're getting into, because, well, it makes the video more interesting, and also it makes the experience of working on it more interesting. And a lot of times in the industry that I work in, I do small engine repair. I do small engine repair for customers and other people. I have actually been doing that a lot more lately, and I'm sure you've probably noticed that there has been a lot less videos on the channel. I do apologize about that. There has been a lot going on here in the last couple months, and I really have not been in a position where I have been able to record. A lot of stress, and I have been really busy. So again, I do apologize about that. I've just not been in the right place to sit down and record that, and I just don't have the patience to sit down and edit videos anymore. A friend of mine has offered to take over editing videos. I'm not sure when he's going to start. I need to figure things out with that. So if he's going to start taking care of that for me, then that's great. So I'm going to start stacking videos up for him to record, or for him to edit. So yeah, that won't be my problem anymore. So this is going to be the next channel project. I have no clue how long this one's going to take to do. Today is actually Easter of 2025, which, if I am correct, today is April 20th of 2025 is when I am starting this machine up. So yeah. So the story behind this tractor is, out by where I work, there was a barn fire, and this tractor, it wasn't in the barn fire, but it was right there on the same, it wasn't very far from the barn fire. If the barn would have fallen, or it wouldn't have fallen towards the road when it went down, if it would have fell backwards instead of forwards, this tractor would have been in the fire. It was close, and I'm pretty sure that's why it has discoloration on the side of it, where you can see it is a darker shade of orange compared to the rest of it where it's kind of faded. That could be from other things also, but I'm pretty sure that that's from the fire. I may be wrong. This tractor sat over there, the barn burned down, and a week after that happened, I was over there locking the front gate. Or I had pulled in and went to lock the front gate, and the owner of that property came over, and he came over and we started talking about the barn and everything. And he had told me that he had an Allis Chalmers that he was wanting to sell. It didn't run, and I think that was all he told me about it. We went over there and we looked at it, and this is the tractor that it was. Like I said, it's an Allis Chalmers B. We looked at it and he told me 200 bucks, and in the back of my mind I thought, you know, that'd make a good parts tractor for my C. Why not? So I bought it. And there was another thing I also got out of that barn, which is actually pretty cool. It was actually in the heart of the fire, and I would like to try to bring that back to life, because that would actually be a really cool piece for out here in the shop. This is an original Ohio barn. It is a 200-year-old barn. I'm not sure if it's a bicentennial barn or not, according to certain category. However, it is a 200-year-old barn. and it was I think it was a cattle barn. It had the hay up in the attic and it had cows in it, which was pretty cool, the pictures that I had found of it. So this would be a pretty cool piece for it because it doesn't have one and I think it needs one. So yeah, anyway, back to the tractor. So it sat outside for a while, and after he told me the price, I said, well, this could be a parts tractor for my C. I gave $200 for this machine, which I don't really think was that bad of a price for it. So there's two options currently floating through my mind. As I said, parts tractor for the C. However, I do think that there is a chance that this machine could run again, and I kind of would like to at least give it a shot and see if this thing would run again. So that is what we are going to try to do. The engine is locked up. I don't know if you guys saw that in the video of unloading it from the trailer, but the engine on this tractor is locked up. We tried to get it to turn, but we couldn't get it to turn. The exhaust sat there open for however many years it sat outside, so I'm going to go on ahead and assume that the engine is probably full of water. So I guess today's video is going to be getting the cylinder head taken off, and we are going to see if we can get this thing freed up, or if we are going to be taking this thing and just stripping it down, which is kind of what I'm planning on doing with it. But again, if it ends up being a decent machine. The other thing that I thought about doing with it was, if we figure out the transmission is good, recently I parted out a 1987 Jeep Comanche. It had the 2.4 or 2.5 liter engine in it. It was a manual transmission. I've considered taking the engine out of that truck, and it is, like I said, a 4-cylinder, and I think it's about the size of what this one is, maybe a little bit bigger. I have thought about taking that engine and mounting it in this tractor. I think that would be pretty cool. So, like I said, we're gonna see if we can save this one. If we can't, that's probably the route we're gonna go, or we're gonna use it as a parts tractor, so one or the other. The goal is to not put any money into this tractor. This is going to be as cheap as possible. The engine that's back there is free, so if I can use that engine and do it completely free, I will. So yeah, let's go on ahead and let's get the camera set up over here, and I guess I want to go on ahead and at least see if I can get that engine to turn. If I can, well, perfect. If I can't, well, then I guess we'll have to open the engine up. Regardless, we're going to have to open it up anyway because I want to see how bad it is before I go any further with this engine. Like I said, I want to pull the valve cover off, and once I pull the valve cover, I want to pull the head, and I want to look inside there and make sure everything inside there looks good. The cylinders aren't all destroyed and pitted, and the bores look good, and the pistons aren't rotted through. So yeah, let's go on ahead and let's see what we've got. So I'm not sure how locked up the engine is, but I do know the engine is locked up. I did try putting air in the tires also. That tire took air, this tire didn't. Those two tires in the back have air. So, yeah. It felt like it broke. It actually felt like it may have moved. Maybe not. Just feeling things. It has, we gotta look it over. Actually, I didn't even look it over. So that's what we need to do. So let's give it a look over, and then I guess we'll get it taken apart. I'm kind of stepping ahead of things here. So I guess let's go on ahead and start by taking a look at the intake. And this right here is the oil bath air cleaner. Oh, well, there's not going to be anything in here. This is junk, and my finger went through the bottom of it as soon as I went to touch it. So, yeah, nope. However, that's loose. I don't know exactly what was going on with this tractor or why it was parked. However, I'm gonna assume that this is full of water, and this is, yeah, it look at all that. Look at all the shit falling out. This says, yeah, this is junk. So that's kind of unfortunate. I didn't expect that. So I guess let's go on ahead and go to the other side and let's see if it has an oil dipstick and let's check. So over here on this side of the engine, one thing that kind of throws me off that I noticed is this has a starter solenoid right here. It's actually supposed to have a rod that goes from a pedal back here to the starter, and that's what engages the starter and makes it crank the motor. It's not supposed to have a solenoid. So that kind of threw me off as interesting. Got a towel. I want to check the oil. It's over full. So yeah, look how over full that is. So I'm willing to bet there's water in there. It looks pretty clean though. So I have not put any penetrating oil in this. I have not touched it. It's been sitting outside on the pad ever since I got it. Yeah, that smells kind of rough. I'm gonna go on ahead and assume that there's water in there, just because of how over full it is. And we'll probably find it after we take the oil pan off, or after we take the oil drain out. So yeah, I do not know. I guess we can check the transmission and see if the transmission shifts through first, or that would be reverse. No, that'd be, yeah, that'd be reverse. First gear holds in, it kind of holds into gear pretty well. Second gear, it's in third gear. Yeah, it is. So it seems like all the gears work pretty well. That's good. I'm assuming this is your brake. Brake is seized. Yeah, brake is stuck. This is your governor? Yeah, that is. That's your throttle arm. Governor seems to move. Throttle moves. That's good. Steering moves. That's actually really surprising. I did not expect that to move. This is a tall tale sign. I wonder if either somebody was drinking because they were pissed off working on this machine, or if they were pissed off, or if they were using the machine and pissed off, or just drinking for fun. One way or another. We got a beer bottle. So, I don't see any other beverages in here. That's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of funny though. There's no seat on the machine. It did have a seat, but I threw it away because the seat was pretty well junk. What is this? Is this some kind of... I also see that. I don't know what that is. Is that some kind of... Over here's the clutch. Clutch moves. That's good. I don't know what this is. I think this is an engagement for the PTO. No, that's what this is. That's your PTO, and that moves. Switch moves here. That switch doesn't do anything. Button moves. That's good. So, there's a C-clamp right here on the throttle. I wonder what that's for. If that's supposed to be there to not let it idle back all the way. That's possible. Now that I look at it over here, it's got discoloration too. I think this is the side, that other side is the side that faced the barn, I think. So, there's the spark plug wires. I'm almost tempted to pull the spark plugs off and just look at them and see how they look. But I would rather play the game of let's just take the head off and just be amazed and surprised at what it looks like. Oil bat or air crankcase breather. top of the engine. I think this is actually the one that's supposed to be on my C. And my C has the one that's supposed to be on this. Muffler doesn't look too bad. Well, it just goes straight through. There is nothing in this muffler. It's just got some little balls in it. I bet you that one's loud. That'd probably sound good on my seat. There's a couple of bolts. I don't really see any. No, it's just these two up here that hold it on. We grab a couple of wrenches and we'll see if we can get these bolts off of here. I'm assuming that these are either going to be 1/2 inch or 9/16, and they are 1/2 inch. And they're stuck. I'd be curious to drain that radiator and see what's inside of it. I hope that, I don't think it froze. I would assume if it froze up and cracked the block, it would be empty. So I'm going to go on ahead and assume our cooling system is good. We might want to flush it out though, seeing the fact that we don't have a lid. And also the other thing about this tractor too, is it did not have the gas tank when I got the tractor. The gas tank was actually, it wasn't separate. It was included with the tractor, but it wasn't on it. We had to look for it. We had thought it was in the barn and that it burned down, which it was in the barn, but it didn't get burned up. So I guess we got lucky there. But he found it, and once he found it, he let me know. And we went and we grabbed, and next time I went up there to work, I grabbed it. So that worked out pretty well. That's gonna be 5/8, but never mind because it's already loose. And actually right there is where the headlights would go. Is there a bolt on that side too? No. No, this cover is loose also. And while I'm in here, I do want to try to see if I can straighten this machine out a little bit. I'm sure you've seen it, it's kind of rough. There we go. I want to try to straighten some of this tin work out if we can. Alright, what do we have under here? Well, that looks different than the one on the farm wall. I figured it would be more. That's bigger than the one on the farm wall. That's full of shit. Yeah, that's not even connected. Right there's your exhaust. Is that green or is that? It's hard to tell. So in order to take the head off, this would have to be disconnected. Yeah, we'd have to drain out this, whatever is left in this cooling system. Fan moves. I don't think this has a water pump. I'm assuming this alternator doesn't move. It's also got an alternator too, and it might move. So somebody converted it over to 12 volt. I hope that somebody knew what they were doing. Let me grab a 9/16. So I am assuming that these are probably going to be 9/16 bolts, if they're anything like what was on that farm wall. Yep. And there's going to be head bolts underneath of them. The exhaust and intake manifold, that should come off with the head, I think. I think it does, I'm not sure. I could be entirely wrong here. because this would be an overhead valve engine. And then the other thing, while I'm thinking about it, I need to drain out the cooling system. Since I have the forklift here, I might just roll it back outside and drain it out that way. Alright, well, take your bets. How easy do you think this is going to be to get off? Nice. I was looking for a rubber mallet, but I didn't find one. I actually found this, so I guess we're going to have to see if we can make this work and get this valve cover off. Which I think we did. We did. Nice. Oh, it's caught on the gas tank, which the gas tank is just sitting on there, so I guess that's not really that big of a deal. Say there shouldn't be anything in it. It should be empty. Well, let's take this cover off and let's see what's under it. What do y'all think we're going to find? Okay, that's better than I was expecting it to be. So we need to remove all of them. That way this, on second thought, no we don't. Yeah, there's been things that have been getting into this like I thought, because there's cobwebs and stuff. So here's the head bolts. Those are what we need to remove in order to get this head off. Let me grab it. That's just really quick. So if we take this, this should get all the shit and everything out of here. One thing I do want to check though is I want to make sure that it's not our valves that are hung up on anything. So the way to test the valves would be to grab a little so this is how we're going to test and see if our valves are the problem. All the valves look to be up. Maybe that one might be down, but we're going to hit them like this. And as you can see, that one moved. The valves are springing. Yeah, so the valves are not our problem. That one moved. What I'm checking is I'm seeing if the valves are moving and if maybe a locked up valve is our problem. Which all of them, that one's kind of stiff, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out once we get it off. So most of the valves moved, which I'm actually kind of surprised about. I didn't think they would. What size socket do you think that is? Looks like a 5/8 or 3/4. So here's how we were about to determine if this engine is worth trying to save or not. This is an 11/16 socket, and it appears to be the correct size. And we want, there we go. So that one's loose. We actually might be able to get these out of here with the impact driver. I'm just going to try to crack them loose with this. Of course, this ratchet's a piece of shit, so. There we go. It won't stay engaged, it has to jump. So these three are loose. I had thought that one was loose for a second. Not really that hard to loosen up. There we go. Oh, you know the other thing that I just realized? That cooling system is filled with water. I didn't even think about that until just now. So, let's get these bolts loosened up. And once we get these bolts loosened up, we're gonna have to take this out and drain it. Because, yeah, obviously, we do not want water getting into it. Inside the motor looks pretty clean though. I'm actually really impressed by how clean it looks up here for how long it sat. I'm expecting there to be a bunch of water in here. I don't see anything dripping. I see a little bit of water. Yeah, we're starting to leak water out. So, okay. Yeah. There should be a valve somewhere on this engine. Or we could even just take the grill off. One bolt holding it in, but the bolt appears to be, whatever. So, I don't know where the drain is on here for the radiator. I know there's one because my C has one. Unless we're supposed to just take the bottom radiator hose off. Let's get this thing out of the building, and I'm gonna pull that bottom hose off of the radiator, and let's just drain it down that way. There should be a drain on it somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is. So I'm pretty sure we've broken a seal loose because as you guys can see, there is water leaking out of it. If I have to replace a radiator hose, no big deal. Let's just see if we can get this thing to come off of here. And this will be where we drain down the cooling system. Hopefully. Yep. I'm not sure what type of cooling system this is. If this is like being it's just a gravity system or if it has an actual water pump. I'm gonna go off and say it has a water pump, going by the fact that it looks like that goes all the way up to the fan. And usually the fan on this is up to a water pump. That looks disgusting. Ew. So, yeah, that cooling system looked like it had some really good stuff in it. So, let me get it back in the shop and we'll continue taking the... So I guess the next thing to do is we need to come over here and unhook our spark plug wires. And we have to take a second to remember what plug goes where because I'm not going to remember. Okay, so let's go ahead and take these spark plug wires out of here. And then after we get these out, we can see what it'll take. What's this line right here? I'm assuming that this is an oil line right here. Yeah, that goes into the oil pump. So we need to take this off. Oh, I'll bet that right there is what oils this up here, because that comes in from the oil filter. So I popped a new battery in the camera, and also got all of the bolts loose. So now we can grab our impact driver. Oh, and the cooling system's drained. And we can get all these bolts out. Once all these head bolts are out, we should be able to take this head off of here. Oh, and I keep forgetting that we have to take that stuff off on the other side. The oil lines. Well, yeah, we need to take these off. So the head is unbolted. That doesn't say it's loose. That just says it's unbolted. So we need our, there it is. And we need to spray this down. Now, one thing I should have done is I should have soaked this engine before I started working on it, but I didn't, because I'd rather just open it up and figure it out and see how it looks inside first. I'm probably gonna need an actual size wrench. Yeah, probably a 7/16, but those are 3/8. 7/16, 3/8, and ½ inch. One of these is bound to be the right wrench for this job. We just got to figure out which one it is. 3/8. Yep. And then either 7/16 or ½ for that one. So these are oil lines right here. Somebody at some point did repaint this tractor, and I can tell. And I don't think this is the original oil line either, but I might be wrong. Really? This one already loose or have an issue? That one has an issue. Okay, well, no. Look at that. Cool. That bolt looks kind of rough. That just stripped. Well, it's a 12-point socket, that's why. Let me find a 6-point. Because I kind of looked at the other one I pulled out. Yep. And it looks smaller. Yeah. It is a 5/8. The other one came out with a 11/16 though, so. Oh, that just came right loose. Ooh, yeah, that looks bad. So now it looks like we need to remove that. And I think once we take that off, that should be it. This right here. Yeah, it can stay in there, whatever. But somebody put this bracket on here when they put this alternator on. There we go. That took that off. So now, I believe if we go to pick up on this head, it should come off. We're gonna have to give it some persuasion though to get it to come off. Wherever that mallet disappeared to, here it is. I'm gonna assume that head's gonna be pretty heavy, more than likely. This is a nylon mallet, this is not steel. I would rather be using a rubber mallet right now, but my rubber mallet, there it goes, is missing. So that just popped off and it tipped this way. I'm gonna assume, oh, it is free. Look at that. All right, well, moment of truth. I guess we get to see what is inside of this thing. Now I'm assuming there's gonna be water everywhere inside because we just pulled the head gasket, and underneath of the head is where the water jacket goes through, or inside the head is where the water jacket goes through. So I'm expecting to see some water. So doesn't seem that bad. Ready? Oh boy, this is the fun part. Oh shit, this is still hooked up. I need to unhook that before we can go any further. Oh, fuel line, but that's not hooked up. Choke. Choke and throttle linkages are the only two things I can think of that we would be tied to still. However, I think because we're taking the carb off with the head, so that's why that would be with it still. So now if that falls out like I want it to, there we go. And the choke, does this even have a choke? Because I see this isn't hooked up to anything, and it's frozen, and I don't see any other linkages, so I'm assuming we don't have anything hooked up to it. So let's see, ready? There we go. Oh my god, this is heavy. Let me set it over here. We should have pulled all those push rods out. Alright. Well, it's not as bad as I was expecting. I see this cylinder right here. Ooh. Yeah. That one might be a problem. He's dry, he's dry, he's dry, he's wet. It's possible that that's from the water jacket, but I doubt it. So, yeah, I'm gonna go on ahead and it's got a bunch of rust sitting on top of it. That cylinder had an open valve, now that I think about it. I think that one is our problem, because I was looking at them and that one the valve was down a little bit, so yeah, I think it's safe to say what cylinder is the one that is going to be stuck. That one has some surface rust, that one has some surface rust, that one looks like it would possibly come back, that one has standing water in it, so yeah, he's definitely the worst one on our list. We'll have to take a look at the bottom of the head and see how it looks here. So I poked my finger in it earlier, but I didn't show you guys. just how much rust is caked on top of that piston. This is on top of that piston and that cylinder right there. That's bad. So I believe this is the one that has been causing us problems. So I want to grab a paper towel and I want to try to get the water out of it. And if we can, I want to see, I think that is our one that is causing us problems. If we can get the water out of it, well, that benefited us a lot, for sure. Paper towels will absorb the water out of it, which would be great. So once we get all the water out of it, we can dig into it and see how it looks. And I'm assuming with all of these cylinders there's going to be, yeah, look in there, you can see that. All that on top of that piston right there. I'm sure you can see that very clearly. All of that right there on top of that piston. Just get a good look at that. That right there is our problem. See all this? All that rust right there. And that's the piston. I wonder what our problem is. That cylinder definitely doesn't have any issues at all. Well, I think we should be able to get this motor to turn. I'm glad we pulled it apart and opened it up because that was bad. So I'm going to grab a board or just grab a piece of wood and let's see if we can get a decent sized mallet, and we're going to try to see if we can get this thing to turn. I want to clean out these cylinders though, so let me grab, I want to get a picture of that really quick, and then once I do we'll go on ahead and get back. So let's go on ahead and start by getting all that stuff out of that cylinder, and we need to inspect the other two. There's better ways of doing this, but to be honest with you, I don't think this is gonna, well, I shouldn't say I don't think it's savable. I have seen worse. I have seen worse that has ended up running again. One thing I do want to do though is I want to grab a screwdriver and I want to see if I can scrape at that a little bit and try to clean it up. And then the engine's already pretty well screwed by the looks of things, so I think we'd be alright to just grab a piece of Scotch-Brite and try to clean those other two cylinders, other three cylinder walls up. Trying to be careful. Cylinder 1, though, that one looks pretty good. I don't really have any complaints about cylinder 1. 3 and 4 look kind of questionable, but cylinder 1 looks alright. Cylinder 2, I don't think cylinder 2 is going to come back anytime, but it might. So yeah, trying to think of what the best way would be to clean that out, other than just grab a cylinder hone and go for it. Like I said, the goal is to not put any money into this thing, which I don't know. You know, this engine, these are sleeves. This is a sleeved engine. Ah, I think it is, because those look like sleeves. I bet if we tore the engine down all the way, if that's a sleeved engine, we could easily take the sleeves out of it and replace them. So if this ends up being junk, new piston, new sleeve, problem solved. But it's probably not going to be that simple. Everything's out of it. I'm going to spray it down with some PB Blaster. And I guess we'll see how this goes. Let me grab a wood block or something that I can put in there and hit. Well, I grabbed a piece of wood, and I'm pretty sure this piece of wood will fit in here, and I will be able to use it. Oh yeah. So we're going to hit on this, and as we hit on it, we're going to watch and see if the engine starts to move. And this is going to either free it up and make it move, or we are going to figure out that this is not going to work. Which this thing is in my way, and as I look at it, it's got rust holes in it, so it just needs to go over here so it's out of the way. Hitting on it, the outer ones feel more promising than the inner ones. And also, hitting on these two and this one will make it so it is turning more than one way, because these are, I'm assuming, going down. These, I'm assuming, are coming up. So and actually, it almost sounded like it was wanting to go. I don't think it was. These two sound more promising than this one does, though. And I think our poor piece of wood is falling apart. So I let this engine sit overnight, and I'd like to point a couple things out. This cylinder is dry. This cylinder is dry. This one still has oil in it, and that one still has oil in it. These two are good. This one is questionable. That one is questionable. I wonder if the valve in this one was open and the valve in that one was open. But that one had standing water in it. This one didn't. So we're going to give it a shot. And we are going to see if, after sitting overnight, it freed itself up. I'm going to hit it on this one over here, because this one freed up, and also that way we're not losing our oil. Then we'll kind of hop back and forth between this one and that one, because yesterday it was this one and that one we were hitting on, so we'll give those two a break. I don't think it moved. Well, actually, did it move? There's not really a good way to tell. Another thought that I have been having is, what if we get all the oil out of this cylinder and we heat it up with a torch? and then we cool it down really fast by spraying it down with oil. And that one too. I think if we were to do that, this one might come back. This was the worst one, I believe, so we got to keep an eye on that fan and see if it moves at all. Well, actually, right now it's currently touching that. Let's hit this one. It is still touching, so I do not think it is moving. It almost looked like it was there for a second, but I don't think it's moving. Which is kind of unfortunate, but I'm not horribly surprised. So I'm on the fence of just taking it and heating that up. I mean, we're into it this far, and there's not really much we can do. It looks a lot better, though, than it did when we first opened it up. But I'm thinking we heat it up, then we cool it down, and sometimes applying heat to things will break them free, other times it doesn't. And that one still has some oil in it too. So maybe this one needs some attention also. Well, that one's got quite a bit of rust in the bore as well. Now, whether this works or not, I don't know. I've never tried it. This is the first one that I've dealt with that's been seized up that I've actually thought about trying to see if I could revive. So let me grab a propane torch. We do not want to melt the piston. That is the big thing. We don't want to go too crazy and melt anything, but we want to see if we can heat it up and possibly get it to come out. Actually, I need to grab my oil before I start running with that. Is you want the piston to be heated up, not the block. I don't want to heat the block, I just want to heat the piston and get it to possibly free itself up. But again, I don't want to cause damage to it or put a hole in it or melt it. Really, I just want to get, I already hear it. It sounds like it might be freeing itself up. It's doing that because it's getting propane in it. So now, we'll do that. That should cool it off. And while that one soaks, we'll go on ahead and go after this guy. Yeah, that's gonna put my fire out. Yeah, we can't do that. Well, shit. Oh well. So, I guess the one that was the most stuck there we go. I thought it had done something, but maybe not. It almost looked to me like it had went down a little bit. I had thought, but maybe it didn't. So I guess the next thing to do while we let the engine sit in there and soak is go on ahead and adjust the cylinder head and see how the head looks. I'm sure you want to see what it looks like underneath in the cylinder head portion of it, the chambers, but we'll see that here in a minute. Look about the same. So now we can flip this over, and I'm sure you're wondering and wanting to see what the underneath looks like. Here it is. This is underneath of our engine. Cylinder number 2, as you can see, this one is pretty rough. Cylinder number 3 doesn't look too bad. Cylinder number 4 doesn't look too bad, but it looks pretty rough. We have a stuck valve, I noticed. I think that's our exhaust. That might be, this is the intake. That's the exhaust. That's the exhaust. So we have a stuck exhaust valve. I kind of figured that. I wonder if the rest of the valves move or if the rest of the valves are also stuck. We'll have to spray them down really good when we flip the head back over. I want to take this off, and I want to take the exhaust manifold off. I know we shouldn't, but I want to regardless. That way I know it has been done and took care of. Oh, it came loose. That was kind of surprising. It keeps giving me the illusion that the head or the stud broke. It goes too easy. So the manifold should come off. No, the manifolds are one piece. And I think we grab a rubber mallet feel on it, it should come off. So now we have a rubber mallet. Oh wait, right there's a bolt. Yeah, that one rounded off. I wonder what size bolt that is. So this is a 1/2 inch socket. The only problem with it is it's a 12-point socket. Oh, right here's a 9/16 6-point. It's not that one. So it's going to be the 9/16. There we go. That one fought the whole way. Oh, and there wasn't even anything there. It was the same way on this side. Okay. Okay, what are we missing? I don't see any bolts or anything that we are missing here. There could be I would think if there's a bolt under there holding us up, it wouldn't be moving any. There can't be anything under there at this point. Can there? No. There's now it wants to. There we go. How's it look? Well, yeah. Good thing we took it off. That looks good. So this one right here. Wow, that's full of rust. Holy shit. You guys see that? Oh, good. So yeah, this one. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that stuff got in, and wow, that's bad. That's really bad. We still thinking this engine's gonna run again? Because I have my doubts. But if all 8 valves move, I think we have a chance. The manifold looks fine. It doesn't look like it's rusted through. I don't see the, oh, there's the gasket. Gasket looked alright. Yuck. That's bad. That is really bad. So let's see if we can get any of these valves to move. I'm going to set this down. And we shouldn't. Yeah, see what just drained out of there. Here's our head bolts. The longer ones go in the back and the shorter ones go in the front. Right there is your grease plugs. That's the water jacket right there. And right there's where it goes in. I'm going to try to clean that water jacket out before we do a whole lot with this engine. I talk like we're going to get this thing running, which I have my doubts, but it is possible that we could get this thing running. Let's see. That one moves. He moves. Oh, he moves. He might be stuck. That one moves though. Yeah, these ones move. Cool. Oh, he's stuck. Yeah, that valve is stuck. This one's stuck. That's the one that's down. That one moves. That's good. He moves. He's stuck. This one's stuck. That one's stuck. That one's stuck. I think that one just freed up. Maybe. I thought it did, but maybe it didn't. So, and then that one was stuck too. Something was hitting. Oh, it moves now. That one does not move. That one does not move. That one moves. This one moves. And that one moves. Okay, so these are our problems. And they are both open. I can't tell which one is intake and which one's exhaust. I don't know these engines that well. Well, actually looking at this, put it like that. This cylinder right here looks to be an intake cylinder. These two cylinders right here are exhaust. That one's open, and that one, I wonder if it was stuck open. No. This is the one that was open because that cylinder was full of water. I'm not sure about this one. So this valve was open, that's why it's stuck. This valve, I'm not sure. It may have got knocked down when I was hitting them, and that's probably what happened. So we need to get these two freed back up again. We could try heating them up, but I don't really want to do that quite yet. The correct thing to do in this situation would be to take the valve stems out and just clean all of them up, which, to be honest, we could do. But how much do I really want to put into this thing is the question. I want to see that engine turn over before I put any effort into getting this thing figured out. That one won't go back up. This isn't something you should do, but that one went up. So that one went back in. Will this one? Oh, look at that, it will. Nice. So those two might possibly come back around. That one just hit the table, which is not what we want. But they move. That valve stem looks really rough. This one looks really rough. I don't know. That one sprang back pretty easily, actually. He might spring out. These two are the only two, though they're giving me problems. He sprung back. That one sprung back. They're getting better. I am going to see if I have any oil that I can spray them with. Got some oil. Soak him. Soak him. There we go. It started to spring back. I'm sure you saw it. There we go. There we go. The one that was stuck came back. Now we just have this one to deal with. That one came back. That's the one that I was concerned about. There's a chance he might. Seems like he did there for a second. There we go. I think he came back. Maybe. Or did he? No, I think it's the spring moving. Yeah, that's the spring moving. That's not. There we go. Now it's moving. Cool. All right, so yeah, all 8 valves move. Cool. So that freed them up. So another thing that I want to do is I want to take this head. I almost want to pull the studs out of it. And I want to throw it in the parts washer and just clean it out and soak it really good. My parts washer has diesel fuel in it, and that diesel fuel does a pretty good job at cleaning. So I'm going to throw this in there and just kind of go to town on it and see how well it does, and it'll also give some lubricant to those valves. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to film that. I'll just do that off camera because, well, nobody wants to sit there and watch you scrub at something with a toothbrush. So I'll be back. So I put this engine singer in soak. It's probably been a couple of days since the last time I recorded. I want to go on ahead and see if we go and hit on this thing, if it decides that it wants to free up. This cylinder right here keeps on draining. That one did, but it's still full. These two have not. So I'm guessing this one is our one that is not stuck, or it has bad rings. That felt promising. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it almost felt like it went down. Either that or it was just my block falling apart, which, yeah, that happened too. It almost felt like it had moved. I don't think it is, but no. Watching this, it's not moving. If it was, it would be back like that, away from this, but no. It's not moving back yet. Well, actually, it might be back just a little bit. No. That's just me hoping it is. Damn. So, we're not quite there yet. I'm thinking, let it go again, and maybe we'll throw some heat again at it. So I've kind of been letting this engine soak off and on. I'm currently getting over a cold, so if I sound rough, bear with me. This is the B. I've been letting the engine soak off and on, and kind of over the course of the last month, I have been coming out here and hitting on these, trying to see if I can get them to come loose, and I have not managed to. This one right here, the mix that you put in it goes and drains through the rings. This one also. This one does, but not really as fast. This one right here does not. This is our stuck one, I believe. These two I believe are fine, or these three I believe are fine. I think it's this one. I want to step into it a little bit further. I am thinking that we might want to disengage the clutch. That way we are not fighting against the transmission, because there is a possible chance that transmission might be stuck. I doubt it, but you never know. It did roll around and it was brought in here with the forklift, so your guess is as good as mine when it comes to that one. I also want to, I'm thinking about pulling the oil pan, and in order to pull the oil pan, I almost think we would be better off just to pull the front axle and unbolt the motor and just separate the engine from the tractor, take it over, put it up on the bench, pull the pan, get inside of it, and see how it looks. I don't know if there's anything in the block or not. I'm assuming if there is, it's going to be a lubricant or the penetrating oil that I have been putting in the cylinders and letting drain down and has been going past the rings. And there is a little bit of stuff on there. I think it's still, yeah, it's water. So whether anything in here has made any benefit or not, I don't know. This is we're trying to see if we can get it to go. I have my doubts, but I at least want to give it a shot before I consider this thing dead. So that's where I'm at right now. I think the next step is going to be, I had a bunch of ambition while I was laying there all day and then out of the bathroom and thought, you know what, I want to do something. So how about I get the engine out of that B? So I want to give it one more attempt, and I want to hit on the cylinders, and I want to see if we can get it to break free. If we can get the engine to break free, I will be happy. If we can't get the engine to break free, then we will go on ahead and get everything pulled off that needs to be in order to pull the engine. I'm confident. Well, actually, not confident. I'm pretty sure that right there goes to the tractor somewhere. Front axle bolts to the engine, and then there's 4 bolts. There's 2 bolts right there. There's 2 bolts right there. And there might be, I don't think there's one underneath. There's something underneath. And I think that separates the engine from the tractor, which if that's the case, we should be able to lift the we won't be able to lift the engine out. We should be able to lift the tractor up and separate it from the front of the tractor. If we can get the front of the tractor took apart. This thing is kind of rough. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know if this thing is savable or not. I'm kind of having my doubts the more I have looked at it. It's really starting to look really rough to me, but I think we can give it a shot. And I think once I pull the engine and pull the pan, I want to loosen the crank of this. I want to remove this piston. I want to unhook the rod, and I want to see if the crank moves and these other pistons move. If the other pistons move, I am going to put this cylinder down, or I'm going to put it so the crank is down on this cylinder and try to hit that one down. That way I'm not fighting the rest, and just let it go. So,
well, on John's 316, when I bought it, it had dumbbell weights wedged in the rims for wheel weights. I dragged it around sideways for like a half an hour jerking on it with the 216. I broke 2 chains before I got them out.
Ready?
Yep.
That's the end of this one.
I think the kicking was doing better.
I do too.
What are we leaking?
Probably the PB or WD-40.
Moral support.
Oh, okay. We're just leaking moral support.
Moral support.
Fucking A, if I don't stop getting dripped on, I'm gonna sue.
This thing junk.
Oh yeah.
We had it moved.
It's almost straight up and down now. It was further away from that. Oh. There's a chance all we did is bend the crank. Shit. Crankalization unit. Yeah, it's...
Hey, it came off.
Hey, oh, whoa, okay, so...
I don't know if we're turning the engine or just...
that answers the question.
We're just doing that. So we now know that the engine is stronger than the crank.
On a positive note, the crank came out.
Was it stuck before?
Yeah, it wouldn't come out.
Oh, well, it ain't stuck no more.
No, I guess not.
Go one round, and then we'll check it again.
Alright.
Maybe we can work it back and forth and get it moving.
Yeah, I'll make sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I already started doing it. Okay, that's good.
Boy, this is not comfortable. I could be wrong, but I think I saw the spade turn. I'm gonna go back to the photo here. Let's try it just a little bit. Yeah, the spade turned. Good job. I'm getting the tiniest back and forth out of space. It moved just the tiniest fraction. Every time, well, I can pull it for a minute if you want. If you put it in reverse, dump it, a couple times, you see the thing goes good. So just do it 5 feet and then let off enough that I can flip it back and flip it in, and then go 5 feet. Start working it back and forth, see if it works. Not stopping, so I can put it in the opposite gear. But John, you gotta stop so I can put it in the opposite gear. So I took it out and then started going. I go a little bit.
Oh, we gotta put it on there. We're still working on it.
I think you wanted to put it in there. I guess it wouldn't really matter because we're going to get rained on either way. You're good.
All right.
So we've had a change in plans. We cannot get the oil pan out because there is an indent in the transmission housing, and
There was no change in plans. We just had to modify them.
yeah, so we're gonna separate the front of the tractor from the tractor and possibly be pulling the engine, but I guess we'll see. Right now we're taking the front of the tractor off, so I'm gonna set you up somewhere. And you
Here's
can
a quarter of the things that's holding on the front of the tractor. we'll stay there. You can probably, yeah, shut it.
So getting back into this Allis, here is the engine out of the Allis Chalmers B. This is the oil pan from the bottom of the motor that we had taken off. Yeah, there's a lot of shit floating around in there, if I do say so myself. So we need to, I want to get the engine tipped over on its side if possible. And I want to see what it looks like up inside, and if it's possible that this motor might be able to turn again if we were to take and loosen the pistons. This one right here, it was either one of these two, is I believe the one that is causing us problems. So instead of fighting one, is it possible that we can loosen the one that's bad and not have to fight the rest of the motor to get it to turn? Because I'm getting a little bit of movement out of the crank. So whether you see it or not, I don't know. So it's just gonna be a matter of getting it on its side. Now, there we go. So it's just gonna be of getting it on its side without hurting it and nor dropping it. It's pissing all over my table again. This is inside the motor. I don't think you guys have seen inside of this yet, so there you go. That's just what was in the water jacket. Oh, that's the sump. So it really doesn't look that bad up inside though. So I mean, yeah, it doesn't look terrible. It looks a lot better than I was expecting it to be. So if we can get it to turn, that would be nice. This one right here is the one that's bad. So this guy right here. So if we take him and we loosen him, we might be able to get the crank to turn. I'm also considering coming down here and hitting on it a little bit just to see if I can get it to go the opposite way. It's kind of unfortunate we had to pull the entire tractor apart in order to get the oil pan off, but well, we did what had to be done. Granted, I really didn't want to get into it this far, but it gives more access, so that works. And we also know that the transmission side of things is not stuck. So yeah, we are either about to break or make this come loose. Let's see, ready? Either gonna break the thread or rod, or we're gonna break the breaker bar. Something's turning. Well, something turned. A good or bad sign? I don't know. Let's see what turned. The nut turned. Good. That looks good. What the hell did I catch my finger on? Let's see, how's this one gonna go? This one's gonna be the bitch. But of course, you can't really get at it. That one I might need the impact for, but you can't really get on it. I don't think. No, you can't get on that one. With this, you almost need a wrench. Well, that's just great. Do we get any movement? No. Wait a minute. So the rod, or the thing is moving. We just don't have movement on that cylinder. I am seriously considering my options here. I don't think we could do much more damage if we came in from the bottom and hit up on it, but at the same time, I don't want to go through that piston and I don't want to destroy the bearing. That's kind of where I'm at right now, but we can't get that off. I think we're getting movement out of the crank, though. Yeah, I see some of the pistons moving. Not a lot, but I see enough. So, I don't think we can get a wrench on there, and I don't think that said wrench would turn it. Can we get the socket on there if we take it off of this, I wonder? We might just need a universal joint. Yeah, we can get the socket on there. I wonder if a smaller socket and an extension would be the ticket. If we can get this on here, I think we are good. This is bad. Something's gonna happen here. I don't think it's gonna be what I would want. Nope. I don't think that this is exactly made for what I'm wanting to do. We might have to use this one. This socket. Get in there on it. Well, actually, because I don't know if I have a shallow 9/16. We can get in there. Well, that just went on. So maybe. No, that's not gonna go. Need to rethink things here. This could be fun. No, maybe. Actually, it felt like it turned. There it goes. Look at that. It only took a stupid idea. There we go. So now, our nut is loose. Cool. Look at that bastard. So now, the bottom should come off. Should come off. Look at that. It's just that one that's stuck. So here's the bearing. This is how it went. Remember that. This way is how it went. There's not, oh, there's a mark right there. Yep. These two marks face up on the magneto side. Bearing didn't look terrible though. It actually looks pretty good. So the rest of them move except for the one, which is what I kind of expected. The bearing looks good, actually, so yeah, this might run. Bearing looks alright. It's kind of iffy. It's got a mark right there. That might be a problem. But hopefully it should be alright. So the engine does move though, as you see. That's good. Shouldn't do that. So yeah. The engine does move, we just need to get that one piston to go, and that's it. The rest of them move. And just watch and make sure. Yep. The rest of them move, all except for that one piston. That's it. So yeah, That's cool. So I think I have made the decision. We are going to see if we can free this piston up. This is the stuck one. The rest of them in the engine turn. It's just this one that does not want to go. Let's see if we can get him to free up. I'm just going to hit on from the bottom. I'm not very hopeful if I go through the, I'm hoping I don't go through the top of the piston. If I do, then oh well. So let's just see what happens. If we can get it to move, it moves. Ready? Actually, it almost sounded like it moved. Felt something go. Oh! Well, the sleeve is coming out. So this is a sleeved engine, and I think we have just figured it out. The sleeve is coming out of the cylinder with the piston. So that is not good. So I guess we're just gonna have to beat the sleeve out, and we're gonna have to see if we can get this thing to come out. We might just go on ahead and re-sleeve it, which may be our only option. So I guess we'll just have to see how this goes. Let me move you guys over to the other side because I'm sure you want to see that, and we'll beat that out of there, and I guess we'll just take a look at it and see what we find. So here is the sleeve on the other side of the engine. This is what the piston rides in. As far as it wants to go. It's not quite loose enough yet to pull by hand. I just saw a chunk of something. I'm hoping that was my hammer. It actually, this is loose. There we go. It wants to go. It's holding it up. I think the chunk that I had seen was, I don't think it was piston. Something just moved. It very well could have been piston though. No, that's not part of the piston. So this, the connecting rod is stuck too. Man, the whole thing is just stuck. This is seized and doesn't want to go. I wonder if there's a way that we can get this to go without causing any damage to it. I can't really think of any. The only way I can really think of is beat on it. So here is the sleeve, though. This is what the piston rides around in. Some of these older engines have them. They don't really do that, and I don't think they do that in much newer stuff. I think it's all just older. Well, diesel engines too, they have sleeves. Yes. That's what we wanted, right there. There we go, look at that. We're getting there, come on. Come on out. Bastard. I think when this comes out, we'll be exposing the water jacket. I think the water jacket is in here and it goes around the sleeve. We can't get this budge, can we? It's just gonna stay. We're gonna have to beat the fuck out of it to get it out. This is what I really didn't want to do. Yeah, we've exposed the water jacket. Well, there we go. Oh, there's bolts in these. Look at that. So there's your jacket. That's what the piston rides around in. And yeah, like I thought, that exposed the water jacket. So there you go. I guess that gives you a reason to clean that out. I had thought that was what was behind those sleeves. So I guess if you want an easy way to clean out your water jacket, there you go. Now I wonder if it will do a full rotation or if it will be a pain. That actually turns relatively easy. Well, here's the top of the bearing race. This goes up inside the top part of the piston. Set that over there. Goes around to full rotation, and the fan also moves, and the magneto clicks. I doubt we'll have a spark. I really do. But if we have spark, no, we don't have spark. I didn't think so. No, well, wait a minute. It may be on a different cylinder right now. No. Or I might be just moving it too slow. So, no spark. There we go. Move that over. Can't really do that right now, we're under pressure. If we easily, one of two things is going to happen. Either that's going to give, or it's going to do what I think it's going to do, and it's going to crack that casting. Something's moving. The piston currently has 20. Let's throw some heat at it. Let's see if that helps. Thinking maybe if we get it to heat up, it just might let go. Or expand enough to free it up. I think right around here is where the rings are. You figure the jacket's already cracked, so right there it already broke, so like something in there is boiling. I don't know if this is helping it any or not, but I'm at least gonna give it a shot. See if we can get it to break. Ooh, that kind of scared me a bit at the same time. I think our piston just moved. I think. Something happened. There we go. Now at a certain point we're going to have to stop because the skirt of the piston is going to be hitting on the pieces down here, so we'll have to move that. Alright guys, I want to take a second to thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If this is your first time checking out my channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing. It tells YouTube that you guys like the videos and you want to see more. It tells myself the same thing. While you're at it, go down there and hit the like button on the video because that actually does help. Believe it or not, it helps the video get around to more people who might be interested in seeing an engine get took apart. Not quite sure what my plan is for it right now. I'm on the fence of whether I want to get it running or not. I really don't think that it would be too hard to get this engine running. It's just a matter of how far into this thing do I want to get. Right now I am thinking that the next move is going to be to go on ahead and pop all the sleeves out of it, see how they look, pull the pistons out, see how all the pistons look. However, 3 out of 4 is not terrible if I can get that one. My thinking right now is if I go on ahead and replace that one piston and that one sleeve, we know the rest of it works. I mean, we know the engine spins, and we also know the mag is clicking. We're gonna have to take that mag apart in order to really, I think we're spinning it the wrong way. Yeah. We're gonna have to take that mag apart in order to know really what is going on with it. And while we're in there, we may as well clean the pistons up and everything, and clean the contacts up in the mag. I think if we wanted to, we could get spark out of it right now. And to be honest with you, we're missing a piston, but I have seen engines run missing pistons, so it is possible that we could get it running if we wanted to. Not saying I will, but if we wanted to, we could do it. So, alright guys, like I said, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do me a favor and let me know. I would really appreciate it if you leave me a comment, leave me your suggestions, leaving your ideas. Again, I'm not quite sure what the plan is for this engine or for this tractor in general. My original plan was to just see if I could get it running. If I could get it running, great. If I can't, well, I'm just gonna take it and part it out, use some of the parts from it for my C, and probably sell the rest. However, if the engine turns out to be a decent engine, the rest of the tractor is actually not too bad. It's just there's a few things on it I need to replace because, well, they're junk. And I think if we were to go through it, put the time into it, and get all that done, it might be a decent machine. Transmission seemed good. We pulled it around behind the Avalanche, and the clutch didn't slip too bad, and the gears all seemed like they worked. Reverse worked, forward gears worked, so I guess that's good. So yeah. Alright guys, again, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care.